And now you're here to stare me down. And now you're here to stand your ground. What's going on, y'all? What the fuck is going on? Oh, God. Diarrhea all over the place. That's a fucking lie, you dumb hooker.
Welcome back, my friends, to the swamp at 339. It's good to see you all back here for another installment of the Cyrax Deep Dive Lolcow documentary series. What a damn name. In today's installment, we are going to be updating you again on some recent raxenings. Cyrax can't seem to stop getting in trouble, can't seem to just do his own thing. More than ever, he can't seem to not crap himself on stream. This is at least the third time I have documented clips of him doing so, and it's getting rather sad, but this time is undeniable. We even have the transcript. Poor old Sally, though, sounds like she had to pick up the mess, cause of course, good old Chancey Poo can't do anything for himself, even though he's like 35 years old. Cyrax also tries to give some advice to good old Volition Rex. Even though he wants nothing to do with him, he seems to not be able to not mess with him, reply to him, say words to him, because we all know Cyrax is lonely at the end of the day. And of course, we're gonna show you a few more times of Cyrax, doing the thing in his pants. On top of that, we'll also show you some of his other streaming that he did after this, wearing the exact same clothes, of course.
Alright, so I'm gonna say this right now. Over the last few days, I've been doing really good. I've been not, responding or doing anything. But this needs to be brought up. Nick, you need to cut the bullshit, dude. Me making a brand new Kick account or whatever, or brand new Twitch or whatever, it's not banning, dude. You know what that is? It's called you not wanting me to make a living still.
Oh yeah? Well, baba booey!
That's all it is. You don't want to make a living. So, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to back off before tomorrow morning. Because if you do not, I will be informing YouTube and they will be informing the police.
Well damn, Cyrax, how cool of you to give Marty at least the next day to be able to stop. You know what? You're right, Cyrax. Making accounts on platforms that you have been banned from is not ban evasion. Nah, that's just you living your life. The terms of service do say, if you are banned for a particular reason, you, unfortunately, are not allowed back on the platform. And once that platform becomes aware that you are back on there, they're just gonna ban you again, buddy. And then again, and again. Honestly, if these places were smarter, they'd just IP ban you. I know obviously VPNs exist, but Cyrax can barely figure out how not to crap himself, let alone set up a VPN correctly. And as in Cyrax fashion, he can't throw any empty, hollow threats at Marty without bringing up at least one cop, lawyer, or investigator who's coming after him, even though we know that's entirely untrue, Cyrax.
So you got two choices, Nick. You can either leave me alone. I can just inform YouTube in the morning and show them how you've been not letting me walk away peacefully. It's your call, Nick. I'm giving you a fair warning to leave me alone. Because when I say leave me alone, that means leave me alone. That means you and your friends do not come after me on Kick, on here, on Twitch, it don't matter where it's at. Leave me alone means leave me alone. And that whole thing of ban evading, it isn't ban evading. It's called you just don't want me to do anything with my life. It's called you don't want to see me make any money. That's all it is. You don't want to see me be successful. That's all it is.
Our good boy Chancey here seems to think that some sort of truce is at play here. He seems to think that the trolls and Marty and everybody else are just gonna leave him alone now. All because he went away for a month or two. All because he hasn't been raging for us recently. All because he hasn't been on Marty's panel. And unfortunately, Cyraxx, this symbiotic relationship that you and Marty seem to have created together has been strengthened through trauma bonding and absolute negativity towards each other. You've done some absolutely out-of-pocket things toward Marty, said some of the worst things you could possibly say to a person, and Marty has done the same to you. You have gone after Marty's friends and family, and Marty's gone after your friends and family. But let's not forget and act a fool, Cyraxx. Like you don't deserve those things. You have threatened, attempted to dox, attempted to keylog, attempted to assault and fight Marty, and these are just a few of the things off the top of the iceberg. Let's not forget that you asked Marty for his dead girlfriend's nudes right after she passed away, saying that, I mean, she would have wanted that to happen, right? It doesn't matter, she's passed away now. And these are just some of the surface level things. There are 7 years, Marty, of things that we can put on you, Cyraxx. And like I said, the same thing goes for Marty. Marty has definitely done a lot of untasteful things, and has probably gone too far and messed with people sometimes a bit too much, especially since they weren't Cyraxx himself. But, again, this is just what comes with associating yourself with people like this. I would expect the same treatment of anybody else who befriends a PDF file, anybody else who defends a woman abusing person online, anybody else who defends anybody like this, regardless if it's Cyraxx.
So Nick, unless you want me to get Kick and Twitch involved with their staff as well, and explain to them how you've been making it to where I can't make any money on other sites along with YouTube, unless you want me to get them involved as well, I suggest you leave me alone. And when I say leave me alone, that means, like I said, no going after me on here, no going after me on Kick, and no going after me on Twitch. Stop false reporting me, and stop doing shit. You worry about you, I'll worry about me.
Oh man, Cyraxx is here once again with some more delusion soup, thinking that anybody from Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Rumble, etc. would give a flying crap about his complaints here, saying that, oh man, Marty isn't just letting me move on with my life. You entirely expect this when you mention them every other video. You can delete them as much as you want, or are they being taken down by copyright claims? Who knows, Cyraxx? Either way, you can try to hide it as much as you want, but we know that you have been interacting and calling out and sending negative vibes to them just as much as they've been doing it to you. And to be honest, Cyraxx, seems like you've been the aggressor recently. It seems like you keep calling out Marty, you keep calling out William Gloryhole, and we'll touch on some William Gloryhole stuff here later as well.
What is going on, YouTube? Now, I saw the latest video of Volition Rex. And Volition, I hope you're watching this. I do. I hope you're watching this. Because you talk about wanting to be famous, right? You talk about wanting to make money off of YouTube, right? You know, against my better judgment, I'm gonna give you some tips. I'm gonna give you some tips that might actually help you. And this ain't just coming from me. This is coming from people that I've learned from over the years. And over the last few decades of doing YouTube, I've learned a lot.
What did he say?
Now, of course, like mentioned in the introduction of today's video, Cyraxx would once again respond or call out, or however you want to really phrase this, to Volition Rex, the absolute biggest try-hard Lolcow you'll ever see in your life. Bro is so desperate for any little bit of attention that he will say and do anything, including still entertaining Cyraxx even after he has dealt with all the BS he dealt with. Cyraxx is trying to give him some tips on how to be a YouTuber, to undertake the challenge of becoming a unique YouTuber who isn't just shitting on Cyraxx. Surprisingly though, Cyraxx does seem to have some somewhat kind words to say about the documentary and commentary channels that cover him. Honestly, nothing really surprises me anymore, but I'm scratching my head when he's kind of like, yeah man, they do their own thing, you know, shout out those guys basically, and it's like, oh, I guess so, shout out us guys, let's go. I don't know, dude, it's so weird. Just such an odd thing to see somebody be so unaware of themselves. I guess no matter how deep you get into rabbit holes like this, there's always going to be small moments to where you're just like, what? That don't make no sense.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you want to be famous for? Huh? What do you want to be famous for? You can't just be famous for doing nothing. You gotta have a talent. You gotta stick out. You gotta stand out among the rest. The first tip I gave you, that was tip 1. Tip number 2, find your own lane. Do your own thing. Do what you enjoy, not what's popular. Being popular. Do what you enjoy. Do what you love to do. Stop giving a about what everyone else says. Because if you continue to give a you're not going to get anywhere.
Nobody familiar with the Cyraxx topic should be at all surprised that Cyraxx would give the absolute most basic, mundane, surface level advice possible, but also giving terrible advice at the same time. Yeah, make content that you love. Make content that you enjoy. Cyraxx, you're leaving out the biggest problem here. What is the intended goal of said YouTuber on the platform? Are they there to make videos for fun and enjoyment? Or are they there to try to make a career out of this? Get famous, if you will. Make a few buckaroos. Cyraxx, content really doesn't work the way you seem to think it does. It's not 2012 anymore. The cream doesn't rise to the top. It's just not like that anymore. There's millions and millions of hours of YouTube videos uploaded every single day. So while you're telling him not to give a shit about what anybody thinks, I think that's actually kind of bad advice, brother. You should care what other people think, especially if you want to be successful. Even more so when you're trying to get successful off the back of a PDF woman-abusing goblin.
Tip number 3, man. Don't follow the crowd like a sheep and try to make money off the backs of other people. Because when you do that, you ultimately fail. There's been a lot of channels before you that have tried what you're trying, dude. And you know what they did? They failed. Every last one of them, they all failed. The ones that do content on me, they do their own thing. They don't try to be like everybody else. They stand out in their own way.
As said before, Cyraxx gives us documentary and commentary channels the good old shout out, because we do our own thing. And I guess he's not quite wrong. We're not really out there messing with them. We're here more documenting and making memes of our own. But isn't it sad, Cyraxx, that a person like you, you're not the only one, don't worry, but a person like you is so infamous, so absolutely batshit insane, that you have created an entire economy on YouTube, but you don't make a single dollar from it. Isn't that insane?
So my question to you, Volition Rex, is this: are you gonna be like the rest of the sheep, or are you gonna get the fuck up and do your own thing in your own lane in your own way, very much like I'm doing? Because you see me, I don't give a fuck about what the trolls have to say.
That was a lie.
I don't give a about what William or Marty or any of them have to say. No.
Are you sure about that?
I do my own thing. I stopped giving a shit a long time ago. Are you gonna follow the crowd like a sheep, or are you gonna stand out in your own way and make that shit work? Because you say you want to be famous, but are you prepared to put in the work and the effort? Are you prepared for the sleepless nights, the long hours, the long days? Are you prepared to make the sacrifices? Because if you are, then step up. I welcome you to the challenge of being a YouTuber.
I'd love to take bets down in the comments how many times you think he repeated that sheep line, because I can tell you right now, it's more than 5 or 6. Cyraxx definitely has that tendency to go over the same point, repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, after leaving 5, 10, 15, 30 seconds of him just swallowing his spit in silence in between. And then he'll look away, act like he's looking at something else, and then randomly turn back to the camera several times and start talking again about sheep. Of course, Cyraxx is gonna blow a load of BS out that mouth hole. It more resembles one of those terrifying holes into the earth with a bunch of roots, rocks, and all kinds of other stuff jutting out, more than it does a mouth. But I digress. Cyraxx claims he doesn't care about Marty, what he says, doesn't care about William or what William says, but yet, like we have discussed, Cyraxx time and time again keeps bringing them up, multiple times saying he won't even name them in some videos, but just a few minutes later, he always ends up naming them. Cyraxx's only advice he can give is to do yourself. Don't care about the trolls. Put out that content that you care about. Yet all Cyraxx has ever known is being trolled, catfished, and just being a complete cretin to people. He doesn't have any good advice on how to be successful because Cyraxx hasn't been within 100 feet of being successful. The most success Cyraxx has ever had in his 35 years of life is earning around $100 in all of those years from his music, streaming, content, etc. Cyraxx is the last person to give anybody advice. But remember, are you gonna be one of the sheep?
Because being a YouTuber isn't easy. It's hard work. But if you're willing to put in the hours and the work, your work will be rewarded. But you gotta be willing to put in the hours. You gotta be willing to put in the effort, to put in the hard-ass work that people like me, people like Jacksepticeye, people like Markiplier have put in.
What did he say?
For years and years.
Now, it's absolutely diabolical to hear Cyraxx think of himself on the same level as a Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie, if you will. And while I totally believe Cyraxx is a fan of those channels and watches them and finds inspiration from them, this isn't even the first time he's compared himself to those people. And if I were these people, I would immediately be suing for defamation, because comparing me to anything similar to Cyraxx is nothing less than an act of treason, in my opinion.
So my advice to you, Volition, find your own lane. Do your own thing, man. Stop giving a what people think about you. Because the less you will give about what people think about you, the better off you'll be, my friend. Now, I'm not saying to incite violence. When I say this next thing, what I'm about to say, revolutions never happened in our past by being silent, by following the crowd. Revolutions happened by standing out from the crowd, by being different. Our greatest achievements in human history were made by those that stood out among the rest. People like Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, even guys like Walt Disney. They all made major changes and revolutionized a lot of stuff in their own way. Henry Ford, the owners of Lexus, Lamborghini.
Cyraxx, you're not going to incite any type of violence because you have zero influence over anybody other than the bedbugs in your covers. Once again, Cyraxx goes on another RevRax rant talking about revolutions and patriotic BS. We get it, Cyraxx. You watched a movie once. You watched a couple animes. You probably saw Attack on Titan for an episode or two. It's actually really funny that he just starts naming random historic figures of complete irrelevance. Yeah, but for real though, shout out my boy Tommy Edison, man. That man's a good dude. Oh yeah, and let's not forget to shout out our boy Benjamin Franklin for making all those revolutions for us. It truly is moments like these when Cyraxx truly goes past the moment of delusion to where it's just like, Cyraxx, what the are you even talking about? What do any of these people have to do with giving YouTube advice? And why are we bringing up the owners of Lexus? What's going on?
Now, let me give you an example of what it means to stand out among the rest. Oh, God. All over the place. You see, I do music in my own style, in my own way. And guess what? I stand out for that, and I'm glad to stand out. But like I said, Volition, you want to be a fucking YouTuber? You want to be famous? Then find what you're good at and chase that shit.
So next we'll see a short 12-second clip of some of the reaction and reply that Volition gave to Chance. As I've said in past videos, I don't really plan on giving this guy much attention unless it's absolutely necessary for you guys to understand the progression of the story of Cyraxx. I'm not a fan of people trying to interject themselves in this series, not a fan of people trying to get me to interact with the poo, and definitely not a fan of people trying to create content via this series to mess with Chance. I'm here to document and to tell the story as it happens and as it unfolds. I'm not here to create storylines, cause storylines, etc., etc. I only bring this up because I've been presented several opportunities to interview other Lolcows, opportunities to debate these great characters, opportunities to jump on panels with other creators who do similar stuff, and as I politely declined all of those, I will say again here publicly, I don't touch the poo. I have no interest in being around the poo. If you don't want to stink, don't roll in shit. And on top of that, I really have nothing to say or add that the videos don't already say about these topics. So while I am flattered, and while it does feel great to know that I am recognized for this series, I don't really see myself doing, quote, media around this type of stuff.
I'm sorry, Cyraxx. it's not gonna happen. I'm still have no respect for the American veterans. I have no respect for America.
Well, there you go. You got your answer from good old Cyraxx there. He doesn't have the balls to stand up to the trolls. He can't handle it. Definitely doesn't want to get kicked out. I couldn't imagine that he would either. And of course, he has to keep it real by continuing the shtick that he hates those Americans, brother. Goes on some sort of rant about not having his citizenship or whatever. Sucks to suck, brother. Now, these next few clips are going to be some fun ones. All the many times you can see Cyraxx in the wild crapping himself on stream. Now, I want to shout out Buddha Dude and Cyraxx Archives for the footage that we're going to see here. Much love to those guys. I know in their descriptions it says no credit needed, use it as you want, all that fun stuff. But I just wanted to make sure that I show them some love, because without these types of channels, we wouldn't be able to make these videos as good as they are.
Look at this. I'm still at full health. I've still got all my life points. This dude's got 54 hundo. He's about to be done.
Why are you looking at the back of the shirt like you got shit on it, Cyraxx? Is it because you shit yourself, dude? I think so.
Oh no, yo, let me take care of something real quick.
Pay attention to his face. He legitly shit himself today, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I shit myself, dude." Start checking for gold, and then he'll be like, "Oh," because he shit himself.
What the fuck?
Oh, here comes Sally's imaginary voice. Here we go.
Hang on, y'all. Be right back. I'm gonna let this dude take his turn. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta handle something.
Hold on, guys. I gotta handle something. Yeah, you do gotta handle something. It's called your shit-stained underwears.
Give me just a second, man. I'll be right back.
We've all seen this face before. You know, storm's coming, gotta go type thing, you know.
Oh, wait, never mind. Dude got... Alright, dude got away around my deck. Okay. Not bad. Respect on that. But give me just a sec, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Y'all had to take care of something real quick. We're back. I can make a whole new channel and have well over 1,000 subs within minutes. And I've proven that I can do that. And I have done it. Oh shit, y'all guys, it's storming out. Gotta go.
So I'm gonna have to severely edit this little portion here. I got to thinking about it after the video was done, and I didn't want to chance it. The problem is, a few times in the series so far, we've been taken down for very mundane things, and I would hate for this video to get taken down and lost to time because of some stupid image. So if you want to see the full thing in all the detail and glory, go to William Gloryhole's channel. There's a screenshot on the screen currently that shows you the handle to go to. He is rather close to 10,000 subscribers, so that would be pretty cool to see if he hit that. Something Cyraxx would hate to see. It might even give the boy a heart attack. Shoot. Might even see a rage video or two. Anyways, essentially what's going on here is Cyraxx's new manager and investigator has already been doxxed, harassed, and thrown to the wolves. And Cyraxx has been pretty quiet about that so far. Apparently, William Gloryhole made quick work of these two people, found exactly who they were, gave you every single detail you need to know about them, and unfortunately, I'm not sure how this is gonna end for them. But if history does repeat itself like it tends to often do, we all know Cyraxx is gonna lose more supporters.
Starting today, I am starting a brand new series on the channel called Live Let's Plays.
What?
Where I play old school arcade racers and different games. for y'all live, but it is mostly going to be old school arcade racers. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this series that I'm starting. Side note, there will be a podcast with me and Old 45 tonight around 1 to 2 a.m. So be ready for that.
Of course, Cyrax would say he's starting a new series, and it's the exact same thing he's literally been doing. Like, literally. This entire time. Cyrax, you have literally been live streaming gameplay this entire time. Most of the games either being some sort of driving minigame or racing game in specific. What are you talking about, Cyrax? What's new about this? I shouldn't even be surprised anymore. Cyrax saying he has something new is likely something he just hasn't pulled out in about 3 or 4 days. Out of sight, out of mind, right, Cyrax?
Bro, how did I... Oh, bro, there ain't no way I'm making this. There ain't no way. Ah, damn. Yeah, I'm not making that one, dude. We're getting close though, man. We are getting close to that top spot.
So within this hour stream, Cyrax does a couple races here in this game, and he is abysmal as always. He seems like he has a little bit better of an understanding of this game than most of the other driving ones I've seen, but as you're seeing in this clip, he gets as high as 6 out of 8, and he seems to think that that's almost to the top. So, Cyrax math ain't mathin' here. Now, towards the end here, Cyrax does seem to be toward the front here, but he's still getting his booty smacked pretty hard. He's a solid 5 or 6 seconds behind the leader, which is pretty bad in racing terms. And he's in second place, which is cool, but he's talking ish about somebody he just passed, when as we see here, Cyrax continuously crashes and gets knocked out of the race in pretty much every round. And the moment he starts doing somewhat decent, he immediately gets that ego.
That's right though, I'm still holding fourth. Get a little outside car action going. Baby. Excuse me, coming through, and we took first. Let's go. Dude, this game is intense, bro. Yes! Let's go, baby.
So just as a little bit of reassurance for you all, I did take the 5 seconds to look up if those were names of bots in the game or actual players potentially, and if you guessed that they were bots, you would be correct. Cyrax said he would be doing a live stream sometime in the middle of night, of course, with his little brother Ethan, or 045, or whatever the heck he's calling him today. As of recording this though, that has not happened, and I'm not sure if it will. He said 1 to 2 a.m., it is currently 1:30 a.m. Unfortunately, Cyrax is gonna let us down again, I think. But no worries, at least we could all enjoy this series together. Thanks, my friends, for tuning in to another episode of the Cyrax Deep Dive series. It never ends here in the Raxiverse. There's always something going on. Whether it's a side character trying to get clout off Cyrax, Cyrax calling out the trolls as always, or trying to be inspirational to who knows who, it never truly ends here. Cyrax is that same old broken record, playing the same song and scratching at the same time. The man can't seem to hold his bowels in, so hopefully he'll start rethinking those quote-unquote screamed vocals he does, because if his diet's not too well here, if he doesn't start eating some more fiber, that boy's backside's gonna continue to explode on him like a mudslide every time he tries to clench to do his little scream. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to hit that like button, throw down your comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on the recent Rax happenings, and be sure to subscribe if you're new. We're trying to make our way up to 20,000, and I could definitely use the help.